Here is a story of the journeys of Nepali food in the UK. It is a story of the growth of the British Nepali catering industry. A story about journeys for individuals and businesses too, and a story about our diaspora's placemaking that embeds Nepali cultures to the urban spaces of new lands through food practices. Most Nepalis in the UK belong to Gurkha army families, elite military forces exclusively made up of Nepali ethnicities. These forces were formed over 200 years ago in 1815 for the British Empire. Despite the long history of diplomatic connections, it was only as recent as 2007 that most Gurkhas were allowed to settle in Britain with their families. Many were stationed in Hong Kong, Singapore, and Brunei for significant periods of time before they moved to the UK. These groups were designated as martial races in British colonial classification systems and in Nepal called Janajati, indigenous nationalities of ethnic groups that continue to be marginalized. This minority and military heritage is an important layer in considering food consumption habits based on multiple migration and racial affinities and understanding forms and tensions within the process of community integration. Gurkha families moved primarily to southeast England in areas of army camps and the outskirts of Greater London. Aldershot, a small town outside London, has the largest Nepali settlement and is also the headquarters of the British Army. Nepali presence is highly visible on the main roads where Nepali-centered businesses abound, from barbershops to bars, restaurants and grocery stores, and even a Buddhist monastery. Events like the annual football event called the Gurkha Cup, film premieres with visiting Nepali actors, concerts and dance club nights regularly attract Nepalis based elsewhere to visit Aldershot to shop and enjoy Nepali food catering to their taste. This is different to the many Nepali restaurants around the UK, many established before 2007, that served curries and dishes the British public grew to love and know as Indian food, with only a handful of recognizable Nepali dishes mixed into the menus. The settlement of Gurkha families in the mid-2000s into the UK rapidly increased the migrant Nepali population. Prior to this, one of the major routes of migration was through Nepali restaurants opened by entrepreneurs of all castes who sought employment, both legal and illegal, and subsequently settlement visas. Here is a menu from one of the earliest, most established Nepali restaurants in the UK, based in London. How do you separate innovation from influence and marketing pressures when mining heritage?
यति गोर्खा रेस्टुरेन्टको अगाडिपट्टि उभिरहेकी छु। यो चाहिँ योर्कमा छ। आउनुहोस् तपाईहरुलाई म भित्र लगेर यहाँको बारेमा विस्तृत रूपमा देखाउने छु। दर्शकवृन्द, तपाईहरु पनि याक एन्ड यति गोर्खा रेस्टुरेन्टको मिठो मिठो नेपाली खानाको स्वाद लिन चाहनुहुन्छ भने तपाईहरु एक पटक याक एन्ड यति गोर्खा रेस्टुरेन्ट भिजिट गर्नै पर्ने हुन्छ र यहाँको विशेष ल्याम्ब करी, बीफ स्टर फ्राई, मोमो, टिपिकल नेपाली खानाको थाली सेट, सेलरोटी लगायत विभिन्न प्रकारका नेपाली खानाको स्वाद लिन सक्नुहुनेछ।
Post-2007, restaurants and bars opened up in towns with growing Nepali neighborhoods, serving Nepali food for Nepalis in places such as Camberley, featured here. Camberley has a large Nepali population, even though it is not evident on the main shopping street. Placemaking, through the presence of Nepali food, is not just through restaurants but also through food stores. Here's a vlog on Nepali shops in Farnborough, another South England place near army camps with a large Nepali presence.
यो अन्त आट
चामल भन्छ के पूर्वतिर
ए तपाईतिर
मकैको चामल भन्छ के पूर्वतिर फापरको पिठो अनि नेपाली प्रोडक्टहरु सबै पाइने रहेछ मेरो
Placemaking through food practices is not just limited to the construction of food businesses in the forms of restaurants and stores. It may be far more temporary, such as an event lasting just a day, bringing new ways a space is used. The ways British Nepalis celebrate festivals both disrupts and connects urban spaces with the rural. Events are shaped to fit the most convenient and affordable locations. The UK also hosts large Janajati gatherings, which have moved from rented city buildings to bought countryside plots, such as these Rai and Limbu festivals. These types of events become a place for many Nepalis to discover each other's cultural heritage, including food. Kirat Rai and Limbu events tend to sell dishes and rare ingredients more common in the eastern Himalayas. As certain Nepali festivals move out from the cities to the countryside, we can think further about what processes of placemaking come from connections between urban and rural spaces, and how placemaking builds from new relationships to the idea of nature, soil, and the land.
भिजुअल चलाउने त्यही हो अगस्त 1 तारिख Buddha was born in Nepal.
In the words of the great Dheeraj Rai, Buddha was born in Nepal, Tenzin was born in Nepal, and Gurkhas were born in Nepal. How do we think through nationalism and performativity in displays of culinary heritage? How do we think about heritage in terms of culinary innovation? Here are some pieces of Britain's 2020 MasterChef winner, Chef Santosh Shah. This was a national competition amongst professional chefs. Chef Santosh used Nepali spices on interesting ingredients not found in Nepal, such as octopus. He also deconstructed some iconic Nepali dishes. Less famous, but equally innovative, are the myriad of Himalayan street food businesses that have popped up around the UK. Some challenge dishes that we feel is Nepali. Food becomes inspiration for art and vice versa in the world of British Nepali street food. the UK's other popular cuisines and food styles from its multicultural population, from kebab wraps and flatbread and Afro-Caribbean dishes using plantain and ackee, also inspire and influence Nepali food developments. Nepalis become immersed with other diaspora cultures in Britain, tasting other layers of urban heritage. They also look at developments of Nepali cuisine in other parts of the global Nepali diaspora, and the ways each place combines their local tastes with Nepali ones. Social media posts abound of Nepalis going to Nepali restaurants abroad on holidays. This common trend of Nepalis seeking out Nepali restaurants in unfamiliar places is also visible on the Momo Sisters YouTube channel. It is not the case that these women would prefer to only eat Nepali food wherever available, but there is something to be noticed in that they choose to share Nepali food discoveries as ways of connecting to other Nepalis despite differing senses of home and consumption of other cuisines. Senses of home, including locations outside Nepal, are present on Instagram stories that show dishes and influences from Hong Kong, Singapore, and Brunei. Social media also captures Gurkha army influences, where many households cook over an open fire, and soldiers and veterans reminisce days of cooking outdoors in forests and jungles. Welcome to the world of Nepali digital food haunts, the online lands of sensory expression through sight and sound that navigate through public blogs, travel videos, films of tasting reactions, food challenges, virtual sharing of meals called mukbangs, and audio sensory meridian response videos, also known as ASMR.
दामी भयो मोमो
टुपिएम त पिरो नहुँदो रहेछ
दामी
In what ways can we engage with sensory mining through the digital world? The digital contents around the subject of Nepali food enhance senses through communication circuits. These contents extend socialities and present modes of placemaking, memories, and migrant histories. In doing so, they reveal layers of heritage to navigate and celebrate. They stir, fry, fold, mix, and blend what it is to be Asian, South Asian, Janajati, British, Gurkha, and Nepali.